The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Bermuda's Feel Good Early Morning Show. Good day, Bermuda, supported by Pete's House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert, and we want to thank you for getting up early with us today. Jackie, it is TGIF. I need to know, how are you feeling on this Friday morning?
I'm excited. I can't wait for my Friday. I'm going to make my Friday last as long as Betty White. Like,
Betty White?
Yeah, you know, she's like 103. That's how long my Friday is going to last.
Listen, I am here for it. I am absolutely here for it. As y'all can see, Jackie and I, as always, are ready to bring you some feel-good vibes this morning. Make sure if you haven't already that you take a moment to share this episode with your circle. Those of you on Facebook, go ahead and share the link right over there. If you're watching on YouTube, drop the link in your favorite WhatsApp group chat. And to all of our tweets over there on Twitter, make sure you retweet it because Jackie and I have a saying. Jackie, what is that saying?
Sharing is caring. Kids.
And if you care about Jackie and I, you're going to share today's episode because we're wrapping up our mental wellness week. Today we have, for our feel good topic, a Bermudian success story. We're going to be talking with Dr. Adriene C, Berkeley of PsyNeu. We are continuing the conversation, as I mentioned, on mental wellness. And Dr. Adriene is actually a chartered psychologist and a chartered neuroscientist. So Jackie and I shared some tips yesterday with the mental wellness plans, but we're talking to the expert in Bermuda on this. So make sure if you have any additional questions that you want to talk about related to mental wellness, that you ask them of Dr. A, because she is going to give us the 411 on mental wellness. And as always, our feel good vibe of the day is joke time with Jackie. So if you're ready to get your weekend started with a joke and all the laughs, make sure you stick around for that. Now it's Friday, so we need to know, what are you up to this weekend? Fill in the blank. Let us know what you are doing this weekend. Jackie, what's going on with you this weekend? It's like the last one of, no, it's not. It's the second last one of October.
I'm about to say, no, it's not.
Yeah,
but
second last
you
one.
can go with that. Yeah, second last one. I have no solid plans, to be honest. It's just going to be flying by my coattail. Is that the saying?
Yeah. Or the seat of your pants.
It's going to be random. Let's just stick to what we know for now. It's going to be a random time. A little bit of couching. I want to try and finish watching some series, I guess. Mm-hmm. Read a book, and then hopefully get my negative to fly on Monday.
Oh, yes, you are overseas next week.
I can't wait. I can't wait for all. And then people keep saying, oh, you're going to do so much shopping. I'm like, what? I can't wait to eat. I can't wait to eat all the food, guys. Like, I want the food. I want the basketball games. Yes, I am so, like, geeked. I'm so geeked.
We can see the smile on your face is big, such that we know, if anything, you are going to have an amazing plane ride, at the very least.
I'm coming back to instantaneously start a cleanse. Like, I can't eat the first week of November. It's going to be fasting for the first week or two of November.
Okay.
Because I already can't. Remember, we already said I can't fit into my clothes as it is, so I'm going to be in sweatpants all winter.
I mean, it's great sweatpants season, so I'm here for it. It looks like Mylan says you have some plans with him this weekend.
I have tennis at 10 a.m. Don't be late.
That's your reminder, because if you are late, we're gonna blast you on air because you made such a big deal about it right over here on Good Day Bermuda. So we definitely I want to see some footage. I'm not saying that y'all have to do the whole Too Cool tennis experience, but some footage would be nice. Just saying.
No, I feel like his game with that.
Cool.
Let us know if you're game for some footage, Marlon.
Because if not, then that's okay. If you're not, it's fine too. So what else so you say you're having a chill weekend this weekend. Well, that's the plan. I know I have some really big plans. So I don't know.
I'm waiting for yours. I'm like, what's Terri doing? Maybe I can hop on her bandwagon.
No, what's going on. But this weekend is the end-to-end, so it was usually in May, but they had to postpone it because Bermuda's numbers rose. And so I am once again doing the middle to end, not doing the end-to-end because Lord, that's a lot of walking. But I'm doing the middle to end, and my goal or my intention is to run at least half of it. So my pseudo coach Larry Marshall Jr. said that he doesn't think I'm ready to run half the island yet. So I'm going to do possibly half of the middle to end. Running.
That's exciting. Okay, so I was actually confused when you said that you were going to do the middle to end and stuff, because I'm like, didn't they have that earlier? Because I know some people still went out and walked it. So is this going to be a case where it's everybody, or it's like how they did it virtually, but everybody just did it?
So it is a safe key event, so you do have to show your safe key note to pick up your number. And this is official, so the end-to-end starts in St. George's and the middle to end starts at Botanical Gardens. And I don't know if they still have it open to register, but I know today's the last day to pick up, which tomorrow's the event.
I want to say, is it tomorrow?
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'm excited. Last time I did it, I was like wiped out the next day. So I'm hoping I'm not so wiped out the next day, because I actually have plans to watch some football on Sunday. But I mean, I can.
But where are you watching football? Like, are you going Flanagan's to watch football or on your couch? You could be sore, girl. You could be sore just as you're on the floor. Like, instead of sit on the couch to watch football, sit on the floor and just roll your legs out and stretch and do your yoga.
Exactly.
Look to your left at the screen.
I don't know why Jackie does my plans. She knows my life. That is absolutely my plan. So it looks like we have Rashida Godwin in with us. I see Anika DeShields is in the audience, and Sean Smith. As you are joining us, go ahead and let us know, fill in the blank. What are you getting into this weekend? Jackie and I actually have alternative plans this weekend. Normally Jackie's the semi-busy one, and I'm the one that's like doing a low-key weekend. But this weekend, I am getting ready to do the middle to end.
To be honest, the weekends that I have nothing planned are usually the most outrageous.
Oh, Lord. So we'll see what happens on Monday.
Monday, I'm going to be like, I have to catch this flight. I'm so tired. I'm going to sleep. I mean, I sleep the whole flight anyway. I am the best person to travel with, because if you want to sit next to me and like drink.
The best person.
And drink and stuff, I'm going to be like, okay, so like 1 or 2 drinks, but the wool goes over my head, and like, ooh, there goes my tea, and
oh no,
it didn't get on me.
Okay.
Just my finger caught it. And I'm going to sleep. I usually sleep before takeoff.
Okay, yeah, I'm usually sleep before takeoff as well. It looks like Anika DeShields is doing some paperwork this weekend. Shout out to you for being productive on your weekend. Hopefully it only takes you 1 day of the weekend so that you can enjoy the other day, because this month, has been Mental Wellness Awareness Month. I think they say mental health, but I've heard some people change the word from health to wellness, because sometimes when you say mental health, it has like a negative stigma, or people kind of think of it as like, I'm not crazy. It's like, no one's saying you're crazy. We're saying that you should be focused on your mental wellness as much as you are on your physical wellness.
Mental, physical, and emotional cleanse to protect your health.
Exactly. So we're going to be talking with a chartered psychologist and chartered neuroscientist. Dr. A is backstage, and we're going to be bringing her in shortly. But I see we have some more weekend plans from the audience. So Rashida Godwin, Jack.
Work and preparing upcoming African diaspora tours. Ooh, so fun.
Have to let us know when they are so Jack and I can go, because we didn't get a chance to attend the cup match ones. We wanted to do cup match ones, and our schedules just didn't allow for that. So it looks like Mylan is always sleep before takeoff, like you, Jack.
Like, I'm out. Like, I wake up. Like, I've had situations where I've gone to sleep and people have woken me up because like our section is being let out, and I get, hi, you ready? Because the rest of the plane's empty. I'm like, oh geez, that was a good nap. I don't like,
A good sleep.
Best sleep ever.
I'm going to bring in some more comments before we go to commercial break. Karen Simmons says, good day, ladies. She's having a girls' day tomorrow. Well, that is exciting. Very mental wellness focused. All about self-care, too, it sounds like. So I think someone listened to the episode yesterday and got some really good tips. So she's getting put that into practice. I love that. Sean Smith, Jack.
Getting data off my cloud hard drive.
And that's going to be...
That sounds complicated.
I mean, it's like iCloud. That's what he's talking about.
I know, but what happens because he's dedicating time to it, so it feels like he's tried and now he's got a few other ways to try. Like, I can't find this stuff, figure out how I'm going to find this stuff. But anyway.
Let us know, Sean, if you think it's going to be an easy experience or not. And as we wrap up with this last comment before commercial break, Rashida Gobbin says, listening to your show is a good mental health for me. We appreciate that. That's definitely an emoji moment.
Yeah.
An emoji, we would drop it. So Jackie and I are going to go to commercial break, and then we'll be back with our guest of the day, which is Bermudian Success Story, Dr. Adriene C, Berkeley of PsyNeu, Bermuda.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert. And if you're just joining us, we're getting ready for our feel-good topic of the day, which is Bermudian Success Story, Dr. Adriene C, Berkeley of PsyNeu, Bermuda. Today, we're going to be discussing how we can normalize psychological support by creating awareness around the mind, brain, body, and behavior connection. But before we bring our guest of the day into the studio, we need you, audience, to help us welcome Dr. A to Good Day Bermuda. So drop your favorite wellness-related emoji. I know mine is the yoga emoji. Jackie, do you have a favorite wellness emoji that you like to use?
No.
The tennis emoji, I would say, like, come on, girl. That was an easy lob.
Yeah, it's called sleeping. So is this one? It's either this one, where she's yawning, or it's the
with the Z's.
Yes, I had to do the snoring sound.
We love sound effects over here. So on that note, we're going to bring in Dr. A into the conversation. Good morning, Dr. Adriene.
Good morning. Sorry.
You're totally fine. Thank you for joining Jackie and I bright and early on this Friday morning. We hope to give some feel-good vibes to you today.
Thank you for having me.
You are most welcome. So to get this started, for those that don't know, because you're a chartered psychologist and a chartered neuroscientist, what educational background did that take, and what drove you to go into that space, that field?
Oh, goodness. So it took just over a decade. So it was psychology and neuroscience is my background. And how I got into that, to be honest, I had meningitis when I was 12. Nearly passed away after fighting for 6 months. And I only remember little bits and pieces of that. But I do remember that my behavior, my body completely changed. So from that moment, I always had an interest in how the mind and the brain can completely change your behavior and how you function. So honestly, since then, I just kind of naturally took the path of psychology and neuroscience. And then here I am.
Wow, I was not expecting that story.
Plot twist. I'm sitting here like plot twist. I was expecting like, my uncle or my aunt or my parent. No, like you went through something. That's a lot. Like, sorry, Terri, I'm gonna sway a little bit. One, how common is meningitis in children? Two, what are some I'm not sure how much research you right. So, and two, like, what are some long-term side effects of that? And three, as somebody that went through that at such a young age, did you go to therapy to help you from a young age, are you dealing with it as an adult? Have you already accepted it and dealt with it, and it's now past trauma that you're able, like you have no triggers connected to it at all type situation?
Yeah, so there are different types. There's viral and bacterial. The viral one is a lot more common. I had the bacterial, which is the more rare and deadly version of meningitis. So never ran in my family, didn't know anything about it. During that time, I was so young, and there definitely weren't any services in terms of incorporating mental health within the physical health hospital. So as a 12-year-old, I kind of just went through it. And then when it was finished, life kind of went back to normal, per se. It did take me a little while to adjust. There were moments where I thought I would get sick again, while almost like some PTSD traits now that I know as a professional. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know at the time. I've accepted it as part of my story. It hasn't been an issue for me. There have been fleeting moments where when I was overseas working in the ICUs, where I would have random flashbacks or images. And I've been in ICUs so many times before, but there will be certain instances where I'm reminded of my experience. But for the most part, it's not detrimental. It's part of my story. And it actually reminds me of why I'm here and why I'm so passionate about creating awareness and about the mind and the brain, because I think it's often overlooked, to be honest.
That's like so true, because for Jacky and I, like, we talk about mental and physical health pretty much every day on every show. We have some component where we're either talking about physical wellness or mental wellness, but we do know that it's not talked about enough. So how can we encourage people to talk more openly about it without making them feel uncomfortable or feeling attacked? Because I feel like that's probably one of the reasons why people don't talk about it, because they feel like there's going to be some judgment or some type of negative conversation after I say I'm feeling down.
I think what's really, really important is that people understand that mental wellness is not an exclusive club. Everyone has it. I think there is this misconception that, that only certain people have it, and that's why, we don't want to talk about it, or it's embarrassing or shameful to talk about it. A lot of people think of mental ill health when we discuss mental wellness. And that's understandable, but that's not the end all or be all. Everyone has, just like everyone has physical health, as you said, everyone has mental health. Just like physically, we might break an arm or get a cold. Some people won't. And it's the same with mental wellness. Some people may have psychological distress. Some people may have mental illness, but everyone is on that spectrum. And I think what's really important is that we normalize it and have conversations by accepting or acknowledging that this is an everyone club. This is not just an exclusive thing that one or two people have. I think it's really important to have psychologists in GP offices and things like that, like how you see in other countries. I know we've attempted here, but just, again, having people to make the connections that mind and body and brain are not separate, they're together,
I love that.
That last comment actually goes right into my next question, because we were saying how mental health and physical health go hand in hand. And obviously, we always talk about having a plan. Yesterday, we dove into it a little bit more about having a mental and physical health plan. But like, what are some steps that people can take to start a mental health plan without overwhelming themselves in the process?
So it's always, I always say, take baby steps whenever setting a large goal. Super, super tiny. Whatever you have to, the first question you have to ask yourself is, what does mental wellness or a health in general look to you? That way you're able to achieve that. The first thing is just to be honest with yourself. How are you feeling? What will make life a little better? What will make it easier? Is it doing more things? Is it doing less things? Everything, a mental wellness plan looks different for different people. So it's really, which is hard naturally, to kind of self-reflect, taking that time out to figure out what genuinely puts me in a good space and what is it that I need. And I think a really important part of that is sometimes when we think about mental health plans and self-care, we kind of think of all the fun stuff. I call it the glitter stuff, you know, the massages and facials and things like that. But sometimes self-care or mental health plans look like going to the doctor or making sure you're getting enough sleep or eating correctly. So it's making sure that you're honest with yourself in terms of what will make life feel and look a bit better for you.
I love that answer. And so actually to kind of carry on with the fact that Jacky and I spoke about the mental wellness plan and you shared some excellent tips that I feel like if you didn't get a chance to jot that down, it's fine because you might be, you know, driving, riding, whatever the case may be. There will be a replay that you can catch these this episode back, because what I want to shift to is you're a doctor. So you deal with this every single day. You have clients come in and out of your space. How do you manage stress and decompress? Because I feel like it's easy for those of us that don't have to like engage with people on a daily basis and kind of like take on their stress to give them a mental wellness plan. But like, how do you do it? Like, what's in your toolkit?
Oh, lots of things. So part of the as I was saying, sometimes it's doing things that you don't want to do. I have a therapist too, you know, therapists need therapists. And no, sometimes I just don't want to do it, but I have to do it. And it does really help. And then on the social side, I do pull, I do try to dance. I do hang out with my friends as much as possible. I eat delicious things because why not? I sleep because it's amazing. And one of the things for me is complete disconnection. Like, you know, I'm really boundaried with my work. So if it's a weekend or I'm not in work hours, I'm a completely different person. Don't ask me any questions about anything. I disconnect, and I take that very seriously. So for me, having strong boundaries in that remit helps my mental health. I kind of I'm able to just watch a movie, stay in bed, be with my dog, eat all the delicious things in the world, and just relax.
I love that. So eating is healthy.
Eating is good.
I can't wait for my mental health week next week.
Exactly. It's needed.
But we haven't written this down, and I hope I don't get in trouble for it. But in Bermuda, we have a sweep it underneath the rug type of way of life where the first thing when we're stressed is like, oh, I need a drink or I need a smoke or a cigarette. And yes, I'm talking about smoking weed versus a cigarette. And a lot of us tend to go towards substances for our mental health. But that's a way that we just avoid versus address the situation. How do we force people to act? I shouldn't say force.
Motivate, encourage.
How do we motivate somebody to look for different ways to decompress and face what they're going through versus just, I'm going to the bar and I'm having a drink because today was rough, versus just actually analyzing the day and then celebrating with a glass of wine. Because I think we all deserve a glass of wine, but versus, using that as a way to escape the issues that we're dealing with, because once we sober up, they're back anyway.
Yeah. It's definitely a cultural thing here for sure. I think the biggest thing is creating awareness around it. So I always say you can't change something you're not aware of. So a lot of people just may not know, or they may not realize that they are using this type of coping skill, because it is a coping skill, that they're using that to manage whatever it is that they're dealing with. I think it's really important to have, if you have that kind of relationship with that person and it's not judgmental, that you are able to, pull them aside and be like, I'm a little concerned about you. Is everything okay? I noticed that you're drinking a little bit more or whatever. It's okay if you want to talk about it. I know somebody, or even if they don't want to speak to someone, the world of social media, there's so many different things you can access now, therapeutically. But I think it's all about just having a frank, honest conversation and checking on the people that you love to be more open, because there is a lot of, I would say, high functioning distress here, where we are kind of walking around like everything's willy-nilly, but we're drinking or we're eating or we're over exercising or doing anything too much that's detrimental to our well-being. So I think not to force, but to have open conversations with the people that you're close to if it's appropriate. You don't want to come off judgmental, like you're drinking again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
You have that relationship with that person, you're like, okay, like this is your 5th drunk night in a row. Like, is everything okay? Let's talk about it. I'm here. It doesn't have to be scary. I think we make mental health conversations scary and daunting. Like crack joke, like everyone has it. It's a normal thing to talk about.
That last key about like, normalize that just in one conversation is very important, because I do feel like sometimes you do want to approach someone, even it could be your closest friend, but you just don't know how they're going to react, because you're coming, you want to sound like a therapist. Like you want to sound like okay, how are you feeling today? Like you don't want to kind of do that stereotypical therapist moment, but you also don't really know how to approach it. So I think that's a really good key for anyone that's watching that maybe even wants to do that or has thought about doing it and just didn't know how to approach it. Like, I think take those keys that Dr. A just dropped, because I feel like we all needed them.
Yeah.
So I want to bring in an audience question. Rashida Godwin wants to know, is it decontextualized trauma that we have turned into culture when we talk about, like, us deciding to just go for a drink after work? And I guess if that is the answer, like, how do we change that narrative for ourselves?
Yes. And it's going to sound like we're repeating the same record, but yet you have to talk about it. We have to normalize that these things are happening within our community, because we have a sweep it under the rug kind of culture here. We don't want to talk about it. Oh, not my child, not my cousin, not me. I'm not crazy. That is part of our everyday narrative, even today. So if we are more open about how we're feeling, how we're doing, what has happened to us, and use that to empower rather than to shame us, then we will become more open as a community to seek change and try to create change. It's really important that we do that here. Talk more.
That part.
Talk more. Talk more. I mean, like, diabetes has a day, and we hear about different things, and mental health month, it kind of creeps up, and we're like, oh, okay. Every month should be a wellness month. We should be talking about this more and more every day.
Absolutely. Like literally, Jacky and I do talk about this pretty much every day. In some way, I'm sure we bring it up.
I'm sure people are just like, mental health slipped its way in again. Yes, because it's important. It's so important. And that actually leads me to obviously everything that we're talking about is all connected. So we're talking about looking out for our friends, people in our community, but sometimes we don't actually know these signs.
Yeah.
So what are some signs that we can look out for? I know there's probably like a million, but can we narrow it down to like the top 5?
Okay, I'll try. The thing is, so mind, brain, and body is not separate. Now, one of the first things that happens whenever we're under like emotional or psychological distress, the first thing that happens is that it comes out physically. That is the first thing to also be ignored, though. Mm-hmm. So unexplained aches and pains, you're feeling nauseous, you're going to the bathroom more, you're having difficulties breathing, you feel tightness on your chest. All those physical symptoms are clue number 1. But again, we wake up, we're like, oh, we have another headache, we're tired. It gets ignored. So that is a really, really good indicator that something's not 100% right. Another thing that's often kind of not really focused on is your cognition. Are you able to concentrate? Can you focus? Are you able to be organized as much as possible? How's your planning? Are you driving past your stop? Or are you forgetting to lose your keys more? Those kinds of things you have to think about. And then, of course, you have the emotional side. Are you feeling low? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you hyperactive? Are you fidgety? Are you withdrawing from others? Things like that. So it's a combination of emotional, behavioral, cognitive, and physical things that come together. Now, we all experience those things separately, but when they become a lot more consistent, then we have to be like, okay, let's evaluate what's going on here.
I feel like I just went, as she was describing all of that, I was like, huh.
I was like, I should probably book my appointment now.
Yeah, that explains 100% of the things that are going on. Like, that makes total sense. And it's really interesting that you said that we look at them separately, because I do tend to look at them separately. Like, when I'm less focused, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's because of this. And then when I'm, not eating as well, or I'm not eating as much, or I'm eating too much, I'm like, oh, that's because it's the time of the month. So it's fine. I'll let it go. It's cool. But then, like, when you just said that, like, some of them do converge, but I just compartmentalize them because I guess naturally, or just over time, that's just how I've learned to deal with life. And I'm like, there's a lot of things that I need to focus on.
Exactly. That's what happens. Traditionally, mind and body, mind, brain, and body have been treated separately. They're not separate. When you get nervous, you get butterflies, you're feeling nervous, mind, body, like it's all together. So traditionally, in a health setting, they have been so separate. That's why I like to think of myself as a little unicorn, put them together.
You absolutely are a unicorn, the beautiful Bermudian unicorn that we love. We're glad you decided to join us today, because I feel like in normalizing the conversation, we just need to openly talk about it. Like, we're not going to solve this problem today, but I definitely feel like even the audience, I've seen some comments coming in that I actually want to bring a question in for you, Adriene. But Jackie, I don't know if you wanted to maybe switch gears real quick, or did you want to go to the audience question?
I do. It's not completely switching gears, but there's a lot of people out there that Maui has a stigma, and people are scared that if they come forward, they talk about the issues, that they're going to be admitted up Maui or admitted anywhere against their will. What do you say to those people that are just like, hey, like, calm down, let's take it step by step? Like, how do you comfort those people?
So I can 100% appreciate why people hesitate because of the stigma there. So I definitely don't want to be like, there's no problem, just go there. I can understand that based on what we've talked about this whole time. I always say things like, if we break our arm, do we shame people for wearing casts? Or if we have a headache, do we shame people for taking Tylenol? It's the same thing. You're getting treatment for what you need. You're getting care. And there's shame around medication use, seeking support. And honestly, it roots back from so many different things: societal, cultural, racial. There's so many different nuances into why we have such a hesitation to even going to places like Maui. But again, if we are able to normalize that everyone goes through mental wellness and everyone is a part of this club, there's nothing to be ashamed of. You're taking care of yourself. You're getting the help and support that you need. And there is nothing wrong with supporting yourself. Nothing wrong with that.
I couldn't agree more. And I brought in this comment from Rashida Gavin that I actually wanted to read out loud, because she says it's also a generational dealing with mental health, because like you said earlier, we sweep it under the rug and we let people die. And I think that obviously ties in with what you just said, because over centuries, it's just kind of been a thing that, we just allow to manifest and be, and we know it's a problem, but we just haven't taken the time to learn how to better ourselves. And so as we wrap up, Dr. A, I wanted to ask you more about the practice. And we had a question around, do you offer support groups? And if you do, like, how people can join. But I have another question from the audience that Rashida actually says, does Dr. Adriene offer classes to give us tools on how to better deal with mental health towards mental wellness? So can you speak more about like your offerings at the practice? I know you had like a box that was coming out or that came out. So just let us know, what all you have going on that new side. Or PsyNeu, excuse me.
Yes, so we do offer therapy on the psychological side, couples, family, children, all the way up to older adults. And then also we have the neuroscience side. So we're doing cognitive training, neuropsychological evaluations, dementia assessments, capacity assessments, all that jazz. I am trying to get into some more groups and teaching. So, hopefully soon. I realized after making some of the videos that I did on my Instagram that a lot of people took to them. So I think I will definitely be offering those in the future. So for sure. I do have the PsyNeu boxes, which are psychoeducational sensory boxes. And what that means is essentially teaching you how to use your 7 senses to help better manage your mood. Because yes, we have 7 senses. And we all need mood management. So it's for children. And then we have teen and adult boxes as well. So just little different things to help you to see which suits you. Some people, for example, they use like essential oils. That's the sense of smell. Some people eat, like me. That's taste, music, sight. So it's seeing which one works best for you, so that if you're having a little bit of a stressful time during the day, it's a quick personalized coping tool for you.
I love that. So you mentioned it's personalized. So like, do we like have to like do a questionnaire or something like that, and then you create the box, or is the box already done?
The box is already done. So it's personalized because you find out which sense works best for you, and you learn how to use it. So that's the psychoeducational piece. It's essentially doing what you would do in therapy, teaching you, okay, when I feel like this, I can use this coping skill, and that will help me feel a little bit better. So it may be taste, it may be sight, it may be music, maybe a combination of three, but you learn a little bit of what works for you.
Gotcha. Awesome. That makes perfect sense. Jacky and I could literally talk about this all morning, all day. But we do have to get up out of here. Dr. A, once again, we want to thank you for joining us bright and early on this Friday morning. And we trust you have a good one.
Yes.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back to get your thoughts on our conversation with Dr. A of PsyNeu Bermuda, and we're going to get you ready for a joke time with Jacky. So make sure you do not go anywhere. Jacky and I will be right back.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jacky Lambert. And before we get into a mood management exercise, the one of sound, aka Joke Time with Jacky, we want to know, what are your thoughts on our conversation with Dr. Adriene C. Berkeley of PsyNeu, or New Psy, if you want to switch it up and get a little creative like me. Let us know in the comments what you thought of today's episode. Jack, what are your thoughts on today?
I love her. It was a nice, fresh, young take on mental health. Usually you have when you look at therapists, you think of an older person that talks slow and drags things out, but she made it so much more fun. And when things are fun, they're easier to absorb and retain. So I'm ready. I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm just like, how can I work with her? And I'm like, oh, wicked. Tennis, physical and mental. So we're gonna collaborate. She doesn't know it yet. She doesn't know it yet. But I'm gonna hit her up.
She definitely knows it now. But like, even when she mentioned the boxes and how you
I want a box.
Engage with your different senses, and like even the touch, like I don't like, even when I did tennis, I wasn't in like a bad mood or anything like that, but just like doing the different exercises with you, like that did improve my mood. Like it made me feel better. Like, oh look, I'm learning something new as it relates to tennis. So I want to bring in some of the comments before we get into joke time. So Rashida Gobbin says, this was the best, and thanks. You're welcome.
Thank you for coming, because we do it for you guys. I mean, it's for us as well, but we're very big on the community, and mental health and physical health are very important to us, and it's very good for our community. So we're just trying to push all that good stuff out there.
All the feel good vibes. Kathy Rogers says, great show today. Thank you. Anika DeShields, she's very impressive. So definitely all the love and respect to Dr. A. Carmen Mitchell-Jones says, love the energy and the information. And I want to get to this one by Karen Simmons. The boxes to engage with my different senses. Need to get one. Absolutely. Like that's the key takeaway.
Like, what if I'm sitting here thinking that my best coping or, whatever decompression is for eating, and then I find out it's something else. And all this time I've been, half-aing my mental health regime.
Definitely haven't been 100% putting in the effort. Definitely been at the 50% mark, but we now have so many tools from Dr. A that we are like ready to take on the world week of Mental Wellness Month, air quotes. But honestly, it's definitely going to be a thing for us for sure.
Yeah.
So we want to get to this final comment from Rashida Gobbin before we get into Joke Time with Jackie. She says, hey, ladies, thanks for having her on, and time is overdue for our community to normalize mental health and make it an everyday conversation and move towards mental wellness for the community. Absolutely. Yes. So we'll take that as a cue for us to make sure we talk more about mental wellness. And so if you have any suggestions for us, feel free to engage with us on social media at Good Day Bermuda on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Jackie, I'm ready to improve my mood with the sense of sound.
Yes, let's start your weekend off with a bang. Why did the man fall down the well?
The man fell down the well because it was, I don't know.
Because he didn't see that well. So simple, right?
So
dry.
But I love it.
Oh, why did the coach go to the bank?
The coach went to the bank to put money in his bag.
To get his quarterback. Nah. Sundays are always a little sad, but the day before is a Saturday. I'm sorry, that one was so corny.
That was the best one, though. I was like, yeah, it's Saturday, but like,
Saturday. Play on words, guys.
I love the play on words. And as always, we hope that today's Feel Good Vibe of the Day has you ready to make it a great one. We trust that we will see you next week for more Feel Good conversations. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. As our friend of the show, Kathy Rogers, has said, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. We will see you bright and early on Monday morning. Until the next episode, peace and have a good day, Bermuda.